Have you ever wondered which Asian countries Donald Trump didn't want entering the United States? These weren't just policy headlines, they affected real families, students, and refugees with dreams of a better future. In this video, we'll reveal the 10 Asian countries that faced bans or strict vetting during Trump's presidency. From cultural heritage to political tensions, we'll explore the surprising reasons behind each name. Stick around, because number 3 and 2 will leave you absolutely speechless. Number 10. Sri Lanka, an island nation south of India, has a history of cultural richness and civil conflict. During Trump's term, Sri Lanka was subjected to extra vetting procedures for certain visa categories. Although not formally banned, applicants often had to provide additional documentation and undergo longer interviews. The country is famous for its tea plantations, ancient Buddhist temples, and breathtaking beaches. Historically, Sri Lanka endured a nearly 3-decade civil war that ended in 2009, leaving deep scars but also resilience. Many Sri Lankans migrate to the US for work and study, making visa delays particularly impactful for families. Trump-era changes slowed family reunifications and student admissions. US embassies requested more financial and travel histories from Sri Lankan applicants. Some critics accused the administration of profiling based on religion or nationality. Sri Lankan Americans, especially in New Jersey and California, have built strong communities contributing to technology and healthcare. The country's cultural heritage, such as Kandyan dance and Ceylon tea, continues to enrich global society. Tourism from Americans to Sri Lanka also faced delays due to visa reciprocity changes. Overall, Sri Lanka's experience shows how indirect travel policy shifts ripple through personal lives. Number 9. Myanmar, also called Burma, was directly included in Trump's expanded travel restrictions targeting certain immigrant visas. This Southeast Asian country is known for its golden pagodas, Buddhist culture, and diverse ethnic groups. Historically, Myanmar was under military rule for decades and has faced ongoing ethnic conflicts. In 2020, the Trump administration added Myanmar to its list of countries with immigrant visa restrictions. This meant many families applying for green cards or diversity lottery visas were denied. Before the ban, thousands of Myanmar citizens immigrated to the US annually, many as refugees. The Rohingya crisis, with mass displacement and persecution, brought global attention to Myanmar. U.S. refugee resettlement programs for Myanmar nationals dropped dramatically after 2017. Critics argued that closing doors on refugees fleeing genocide was inhumane. Supporters of the policy cited vetting and documentation issues as reasons for restrictions. Myanmar's cultural life, including marionette theater and Buddhist festivals, continues to thrive abroad through its diaspora. Myanmar Americans are active in cities like Fort Wayne, Indiana, home to many refugees. The case of Myanmar highlights how travel policies intersect with humanitarian crises. Number 8. Vietnam, famous for pho, vibrant street life, and historic French colonial architecture, saw indirect effects of Trump's refugee and immigration policies. While Vietnam was not on the official travel ban list, refugee admissions from Vietnam slowed significantly. Many Vietnamese refugees still applying decades after the war faced delays. Historically, Vietnam has deep ties with the U.S. due to the Vietnam War and the subsequent resettlement of refugees. The Trump administration cut overall refugee admissions drastically, affecting Vietnamese families waiting to reunite. Thousands of Vietnamese students also faced stricter scrutiny in visa processes. Vietnamese Americans are one of the largest Asian American groups, contributing greatly to U.S. culture and politics. Under Trump, some longtime green card applicants faced additional documentation requests. Critics argued that these policies unfairly punished law-abiding families. Supporters claimed the changes ensured proper vetting and reduced illegal immigration. Vietnam's rich culture, including Tet, Lunar New Year celebrations, remains strong in U.S. communities. Cities like Houston and San Jose have vibrant Little Saigon districts. The Vietnam case reflects broader refugee and immigration policy debates. Number 7. Bangladesh, with its population exceeding 170 million, is one of the most densely populated and culturally rich nations in Asia. Under Trump, it wasn't directly banned, but visa processes faced more delays and additional background checks. The U.S. has been a major destination for Bangladeshi students and workers, especially in the fields of engineering, medicine, and business. Cultural life in Bangladesh is vibrant, with traditions like Pohila Boishakh, Bengali New Year, celebrated with colorful parades. Historically, the country gained independence in 1971 after a bloody war with Pakistan, shaping its national identity. During Trump's administration, some Bangladeshi families faced longer waits for family reunification visas. Officials cited enhanced vetting, which required extra proof of financial stability and ties to home. Refugee resettlement numbers from Bangladesh also slowed, though most were economic migrants rather than refugees. Bangladesh is globally known for its textile industry, supplying clothing worldwide, including to the U.S. Critics argued that unnecessary visa hurdles hurt students and skilled workers. The Bangladeshi diaspora in the U.S., particularly in New York, continued to thrive despite policy changes. Many Bangladeshi Americans opened businesses and contributed to local communities. The Bangladesh case highlights how even indirect policy changes can affect international mobility. Number 6. Pakistan, a South Asian nation of over 240 million people, has a long and complex relationship with the United States that has swung between cooperation and tension. During Trump's presidency, Pakistani visa applicants faced extra scrutiny even though the country was never fully banned. Many students and business travelers reported months-long delays in visa processing under the enhanced vetting program. Pakistan has deep cultural roots, being home to the ancient Indus Valley civilization and renowned for its vibrant food, music, and art. Historically, its geopolitical importance stems from its borders with China, India, Iran, and Afghanistan. The U.S. has long provided aid and military assistance, while also expressing concerns over security and extremism. In 2018, reports surfaced of additional checks for Pakistani nationals seeking U.S. visas. Thousands of Pakistani students annually enroll in U.S. universities, contributing significantly to science and technology fields. However, many found themselves facing stricter interviews and new documentation requirements during Trump's era. Critics called the policy unfairly discriminatory, while supporters claimed it was necessary for security. Despite the hurdles, cultural exchange and diaspora ties between Pakistan and America remain strong. Pakistani Americans have become a growing force in U.S. business and politics. The story of Pakistan and U.S. immigration reflects the larger challenges of balancing national security with global openness. Number 5. North Korea was explicitly included in Trump's travel ban orders, although few North Koreans ever traveled to the U.S. The ban restricted almost all immigrant and non-immigrant visas. Historically, North Korea has been one of the most isolated countries, ruled by the Kim family dynasty. Trump's policies tightened an already closed door, citing national security and nuclear concerns. Few North Koreans lived in the U.S., and most arrivals were defectors resettled via South Korea. The cultural life of North Korea is known for its grand parades and strict state-controlled propaganda. Critics argued that the ban was largely symbolic and hurt humanitarian cases more than it improved security. Supporters maintained that it was a necessary stance against a hostile regime. The ban covered family reunification visas and some cultural exchange programs. American scholars hoping to study in North Korea or meet defectors faced new barriers. The U.S. has no formal diplomatic relations with North Korea, making travel already extremely rare. Trump also famously met Kim Jong-un, though the meetings did not lift any restrictions. North Korea remains one of the most tightly closed nations on Earth. Number 4. Somalia, a nation on the Horn of Africa, was one of the original countries in Trump's travel ban list, and its citizens faced near-total visa restrictions. Historically, Somalia has suffered from civil war and instability since the early 1990s, with many refugees resettled in the U.S. over the decades. Under Trump's executive orders, refugee admissions for Somalis dropped dramatically, leaving families divided for years. Culturally, Somalia is known for its poetry traditions, nomadic heritage, and vibrant cuisine featuring spiced meats and flatbreads. Critics of the policy called it cruel and discriminatory because it targeted families already fleeing conflict. Supporters argued that instability made vetting difficult and justified stronger screening. Many Somali Americans live in states like Minnesota and Ohio, contributing actively to business and politics. Community protests in the U.S. drew national attention to their plight. Somali students accepted into U.S. universities faced visa denials or lengthy delays. Weddings, funerals, and family reunifications were often postponed indefinitely due to the travel restrictions. Despite these hardships, the Somali diaspora has continued to thrive and advocate for fairer policies. Trump's policy on Somalia became a symbol of the broader Muslim ban controversy worldwide. Somalia's case shows how immigration policies can deeply affect communities on a humanitarian and cultural level. Number 3. Kyrgyzstan, a Central Asian nation famous for its mountains and nomadic culture, was added to Trump's expanded travel restrictions in 2020. Unlike the original Muslim ban countries, Kyrgyzstan's ban focused mainly on immigrant visas rather than all travel. The U.S. cited insufficient security information sharing and document verification as reasons for the restriction. Historically, Kyrgyzstan was part of the Soviet Union until 1991 and has since developed as a democracy with strong cultural traditions. Thousands of Kyrgyz citizens seek opportunities abroad for education and work, including in the US. The travel restriction meant that family reunification and diversity lottery visas were blocked. Critics argued it unfairly targeted a country with no major history of terrorism or threats to the US. Supporters insisted it was about improving passport security and vetting processes. Kyrgyzstan is culturally rich, known for its yurt-dwelling heritage, epic poetry like the Manas, and horse games such as Kokboru. Kyrgyz students in US universities were generally unaffected since student visas were not banned, but immigrants seeking green cards were hit hard. Diaspora groups campaigned to lift the restrictions, highlighting the contributions of Kyrgyz Americans. Kyrgyzstan's inclusion showed that Trump's travel policies evolved beyond the Middle East into Central Asia. This country's story reveals the global reach of US immigration policies. Number 2. Iran, one of the most prominent countries in Trump's travel ban, saw widespread visa denials. The ban included most immigrant and non-immigrant visas for Iranian nationals. Historically, Iran and the US have had strained relations since the 1979 Islamic Revolution. Before the ban, tens of thousands of Iranians studied and worked in the US annually. Culturally, Iran is known for its Persian poetry, saffron, carpets, and stunning Islamic architecture. The Trump administration justified the ban citing terrorism and national security concerns. Iranian students faced significant uncertainty, with many visas cancelled mid-process. Families were separated, and weddings and funerals were missed due to the ban. Critics called it a discriminatory Muslim ban targeting religious groups. Legal challenges reached the US Supreme Court, which upheld much of the policy. Iranian Americans are among the most highly educated immigrant groups in the US. The ban deeply affected cultural and academic exchange between Iran and the US. Iran's case shows how foreign policy directly affects ordinary lives. Number 1. Sudan, located in Northeast Africa but culturally tied to the Arab and Muslim world, was included in Trump's expanded travel restrictions. The US government cited security concerns and limited information sharing as reasons for the ban. Historically, Sudan has a complex past, including colonial rule, civil wars, and the eventual secession of South Sudan in 2011. Before the ban, thousands of Sudanese citizens traveled to the US for education, work, and family reunification. Trump's restrictions severely limited immigrant and diversity visas for Sudanese applicants. Critics called the policy unfair because most Sudanese traveling to the US had no connection to terrorism. Supporters argued that stronger vetting was necessary until Sudan improved security documentation. Sudan's culture is rich, featuring ancient Nubian pyramids, diverse ethnic traditions, and famous Sudanese tea ceremonies. Many Sudanese Americans live in states like Texas and Virginia, contributing to their local communities. The travel restrictions caused many weddings, family visits, and student plans to be delayed or canceled. Human rights groups said the policy harmed ordinary families more than it improved safety. Sudan's case shows how geopolitical tensions directly affect everyday lives. It remains an example of how immigration rules often have deep cultural and humanitarian impacts. And there you have it, the 10 Asian countries impacted by Trump's travel restrictions and policies. Beyond the politics, these rules disrupted lives, separated families, and slowed cultural exchange between nations. Whether you see these measures as security steps or unfair discrimination, one thing is clear: behind every statistic is a real human story. If you found this eye-opening, be sure to like, comment, and subscribe for more deep dives into how global policies affect everyday lives.